So here we are in chapter 2. So in chapter 1, you really got a lot of really detailed information around the foundational anatomy, which is really, really important. And now we're going to move on a little bit and talk a little bit more about physiology and physiology within the context of this healing postpartum woman. So module 2.1, this first look at the recovery, we're really focusing in on endocrinology, so understanding hormones. So some global considerations that want to be on our mind. Firstly is around breastfeeding. So breastfeeding, of course, is recommended by the World Health Organization, among many organizations. And really, it's recommended for ideally exclusive breastfeeding up to the age of 6 months, but that there are benefits that can be garnered with breastfeeding that's happening up to 2 years. And so what we do agree on is that when a woman is breastfeeding, that tends to prolong this hormonally altered environment. And although the mechanisms of what exactly the effects of this altered environment are onto the soft tissue, we don't have those fully teased out. But there is this recognition that the environment is altered hormonally. Clinically, we see this play out all the time. And so it's something that needs to be in the back of our mind. The other thing that needs to be on our mind is sleep status and how critical it is to be getting really good restorative sleep, that physical repair sleep, which really is uninterrupted sleep between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. And we can recognize that many women in this postpartum period are not getting this. So we have to understand, the issues on protein synthesis and collagen synthesis and tissue repair, and how trainable are those tissues going to be without this sleep that's happening. So just to kind of tie everything together with some key points to wrap up this module. So primary care providers, physiotherapists included, we really do need to consider the endocrine system, right? Even when we are working with something such as diastasis that we might be used to thinking very much from a tissue perspective, we really need to take a step back and consider this context in the women we're working with. We know that postpartum recovery is variable, it's context dependent. We know that the readiness and ability for tissues to actually rebuild and have protein synthesis and collagen synthesis is dependent on so many factors that we want to keep in mind, and hormones play into this. So we really do need to understand the relevance here and how this can impact the tissues. So in the next module, you're going to learn a little bit more about some of the other things we want to consider when we are working with a client who is recovering, kind of in that postpartum period. Make sure you check out the paper by Dr. Sarah Buckley that goes hand in hand with this module, which really covers all the different hormones and even more of the physiological background of each hormone. So check that out and make sure you go through the Show What You Know quiz on hormones, just to make sure you've actually learned everything we've been trying to teach you.